Tuesday on The Social. As the Bezos-Sanchez wedding celebrations kick off in Venice, locals and organizations are taking to the street. But are protests warranted or misguided? And Michelle Obama reveals she's glad she and Barack didn't have a son. Is her reluctance understandable given the family's legacy? Then, from sizzling shrimp to seared steak and perfect paneer, a protein grill guide for every backyard chef. Plus, oh no, is that sauce on your shirt? Wash and learn. Travel laundry hacks to keep you fresh on the fly. It all starts now on The Social.
Tuesday, isn't it? Welcome to The Social, everybody. We'd like to welcome back to the show comedian Elvira Kurt. All right, so listen, I don't know if you've seen this story, but Greenpeace has a message for Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez. This is what it says. If you can rent Venice for your wedding, which is happening very soon, you can pay more tax. Hey. The two are actually set to wed later this week in Venice, and protesters are accusing the couple of contributing to over-tourism there and also contributing to the climate crisis. But city officials are saying they are actually accustomed to these high-profile events and that the celebrations are expected to bring in anywhere from 20 to 30 million euros to the local economy. So they're not mad, I guess. So, Elvira, these protests, are they warranted?
Oh, wow. I'm really torn on this one. On the one hand, Jeff Bezos, like all the ultra-rich, are responsible for destroying the planet that we live on. On the other hand, he's morally bankrupt. So I am leaning to a hard, yes, protest. Come on. Why are there even multi-billionaires, honestly? I have their special day. I don't care about their special day. I really don't. And is he not able to read the vibe of the globe?
That's a good question.
The planet? This is a bad look.
It's okay, but here's a question. This is a very serious question. It's, you know the saying, don't hate the player, hate the game? Mm-hmm. Is he not rich because the U.S. tax policy system allows people to get rich like that? Is that his fault?
No, sure. Well, okay, so
I'm just saying, if you could take advantage of a tax loophole, wouldn't you?
I think it's more... We should be more mad at the U.S. government is what you're saying.
Okay, but can they mad at both?
Sure. Can he also not do a course correction? Look how I've benefited. And so therefore, I am going to distribute my insane wealth that was acquired in this gross manner.
Be more of a philanthropist.
Well, sure, do better.
I mean, I do think that the protests are warranted. So some numbers. In 1990 in the United States, there were 66 billionaires, which is already too many in my opinion. But as of 2024, there are 813 billionaires in the U.S. That is more than any other nation.
Right. So and Jeff, it's none of us.
It's none of us. That's the problem. Jeff is, of course, one of those. And he has managed to go to the tax issue to pay 0 federal income taxes in multiple years. This has been reported about. His tax rate from 2014 to 2018 was under 1%. I don't know about you, but I'm paying like 50% of taxes. And I think that it's these really, really ultra wealthy who are able to amass these immense amounts of wealth and then be sort of gratuitous about it. It's like he's getting private jets. All his guests are probably getting private jets in there. We know the environment.
They're all tax write-offs. That's legal.
I know it's legal. So I know that you're saying that what they should really be protesting is the government and the fact that the United States government allows this to happen. But I think you can protest both. And I think that they should be protesting this because people are frustrated. frustrated, and I would much rather people spend their time protesting things like this than wasting their time fighting somebody on the internet, like a celebrity they're mad at.
Right.
Fight this. Try to.
At the very least.
That's such a good point, which makes what I'm about to say so uncomfortable. If I got an invite, I'd want to go. I like to see. Listen, I'd love to go to a wedding that does not have a budget. Don't tell me you don't want to see how much money they're spending on the flowers, that centerpiece, her dress, how many dresses is she going to wear. I want to see all the celebrities who are going to be there. But I think all of these are very valid points, but I think the issue is it's more about Jeff and not about how rich he is. There's something about these new tech billionaires and all these billionaires trying to be celebrities that is rubbing people the wrong way. Because I'll remind everybody, George Clooney got married in the same location back in 2014. That wedding cost over $4 million and not a single protest. And I'd imagine that he's in the same tax bracket and no one had an issue with it. I think it is something to do with these guys, these nerds who are turning into celebrities who want to hang out with Oprah and they want to hang out with all these celebrities. That is upsetting people. But I'll tell you something, Jeff, if you're watching, you want to invite me, I'm free. I'm going. And then I will come back and report to everybody about how they spent their money.
No. I think, listen, I love Greenpeace. They've done great work. Greenpeace is behind this. There's another UK. But I just want us as the consumers to understand something. You can at least argue that Jeff Bezos, he is the second richest man in the world, but you can at least argue that he has provided hundreds of thousands of jobs, okay? You can at least say that.
But they are all half of them are about to go away because of AI,
okay,
right?
that's a whole other conversation for sure. But you can at least say that. But some of them are making very good money. In my hometown of Bolton, there are hundreds of jobs that have been created because of a huge Amazon distribution center there. So I can't be just mad at that. But if you want to protest billionaires, then you should maybe protest with at least education. Did you know that the biggest tax haven on the planet right now, if you are a billionaire, is owning a sports team? Did you know that? So, you know, everyone thinks, oh, all these celebrities, they're buying a sports team because that's like a vanity flex. You can actually write off almost your entire purchase. You can even write off players' big salaries. So if you're going to protest a billionaire, protest Steve Ballmer, who bought the LA Clippers for $2 billion. He wrote off instantly $1 billion of it, and then he had an $80 million contract. He wrote off all of that as well. So get mad at the celebrities buying teams because they ain't paying a dime. Don't just get mad at Jeff.
Yeah, but I think that's everything.
Don't just get mad at Jeff.
But it's a Jeff thing. That's why I said it's not about how much money he makes. It's a Jeff thing. There's something about him and his fiance and the way that they live their lifestyle is rubbing people the wrong way.
I agree. And they have the money. If they want an exclusive private place where no one's going to protest them, go to Mars. Rent Mars. do you know
Their friend Elon can get them there.
They're probably listening.
Right? And I think my takeaway from listening to what you just said, Mel, is that we should definitely pool our money and get a sports team. Come on, everybody.
Yes!
How much?
It's a good idea.
I don't know how much money you think we have in our savings account. I ain't got it.
We're going to stick with celebrity weddings because Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter, told Access Hollywood that her wedding date was picked by an astrologer. And she explains it by saying she's from LA after all. So is this reasonable or is it ridiculous?
I mean, listen, she's not wrong. It's so LA. Isn't this so LA?
I say you don't really have to be from LA. You can also just be a certain kind of lesbian. Guys, I am so into. I almost had to cancel today because Pluto is doing something funky in my 12th house.
No way. Really?
It's not good, people. It's not good.
It seems to be going just fine for you. I was going to make fun of Paris until I realized I picked my wedding day based on astrology.
No way.
No way. I did.
Okay.
Specifically Chinese numerology. If you are a year of the snake, which I am, the year of the fire snake, 3s are very powerful. So everything in my wedding is based on multiples of 3. And you can look up my wedding date on Wikipedia, I'm sure. And then on top of that, because Ryan and I are both Cancerians, our ruling celestial planet is the moon, obviously. So our first dance was to Frank Sinatra's Blue Moon. So it all worked out. And we've been married almost 18 years. So it's all
fantastic. Listen, if you want to believe in that and you don't want to get married because Mercury's in retrograde, do you, girl. I'm not here to judge you. I have friends who live in LA who base their C-section on the specific astrological sign.
Did you do this too?
We totally did. Well, because I was not going to contribute any genetic material to our first baby. So her birthday was scheduled for sometime in December, early December. I'm December 9th. And so it was like, oh, great, we're going to share the same sign. And then my partner developed high blood pressure, and so they said C-section. It's going to be in November. And I'm like, ugh, Scorpio. No.
I'm sitting right here, Elvira.
You don't have to tell me. You want to be invited to Jeff Bezos' wedding.
Oh my.
You don't have to tell me you're a Scorpio.
True. I do want to go to Jeff Bezos' wedding.
So go on. So
I said, listen, as long as there's no danger to the mother, can we push it to a little so that it's at least a November Sag? And so that's what it is, November 29th.
Too bad. Your child could have been set up for greatness, but now we'll never know because they're not a Scorpio.
Oh my gosh! I love when we learn things like this on the show.
Yep.
Okay, let's take a quick break, everybody. And then Michelle Obama revealing she is so glad that she and Barack did not have a son. Oh. We're going to tell you what she said and how we feel about it right after this. We'll be back.
I didn't mean to shove you, but it's
Tomorrow on The Social, pattern that pop. How to make a fashion statement in summer's hottest prints. This week on The Social, it's getting steamy. 90s boy band 98 Degrees is here to talk about their return to the spotlight.
Okay, if you've got a lot to say and you're screaming at us at the screen right now, all you have to do to get your voice heard is to connect with us on social media. That's how you can get in on all of these topics.
All right, let's dive into our next one. Michelle Obama joked that she's so glad she didn't have a baby Barack Obama while chatting about the challenges of raising young men on her IMO podcast. So, Elvira,
Yeah.
do you understand the reluctance to have a boy child?
Well, she was really, it was a more fulsome topic. The pressure of a son to have to bear the reputation of the father, but also just the fact that she was being pressured or was asked to think about having a third, and that's where I relate to her not wanting a third child. I have 2 children, and I am barely hanging on by a thread.
Did people give you that? Did people ask you a lot? Are you going to have a third? Are you going to have a third?
Yes, well, we're very fertile as 2 lesbians. So it requires a little bit of effort. That's how virile I am.
Gotcha.
But I do have a son.
you have one of each.
I have one of each. I have one of each, and I worry about them in different ways. And I think they feel pressure in different ways. With my daughter, I really worry about her. She's a young woman now, about her owning her power and the way she's been socialized. And my son, who's still a teenager, really, I just worry about his life skills. This is a boy who sleeps in a bed full of dirty dishes. I don't think he's going to make it.
It's different, right? You have a son. Jaya is growing up before Canada, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when I found out that I was pregnant with a boy, I will admit I felt actually really relieved and really excited. Really? And maybe that's an odd thing to say. And of course, I don't want to stereotype with gender. I had no idea, but I thought, the world needs better men, and I feel like I am up to raising an amazing man.
Yes, you are. If anybody can do it, it's you.
And so I was really excited about that. And I do think there's different pressures, and I think there's societal ones, and obviously everyone's unique. In this particular case, though, I read what she was saying also just about what it would have been like to be those prime sort of youth years, which both Malia and Sasha were in the White House, and how obviously Barack, he was the president of the United States. And so he would have been occupied, and a son needs a father figure to a certain degree, maybe in those precious ages. But then I'm saying that, and I'm saying that beside you. Maybe I'm like, maybe that's what she was thinking, though.
Right, of course.
That she was thinking that he would have, the 2 girls would have looked up to their mom to some degree, and then the boy might have been looking to his dad, and that there would have been an imbalance of the amount of time spent together. It's a very particular situation.
No, it's true. And you can see really important father-son relationships. Elon and his son, Trump. Trump and his boys. You can spend too much time with daddy.
That is a good point.
But there is something funny. Maybe it's not, certainly not unique to politics, but there is something funny about people who love legacies, right? People love a legacy. And yeah, there probably would have been pressure on a young Barack Jr., you know, if he did have a son, like, are you going to follow in your father's footsteps?
Yeah.
Do you want to become president? Because Barack Obama was a once-in-a-lifetime president, first male black president, right? But then I think about, you know, our country, and Justin Trudeau was prime minister for a decade. He had no political aspirations until he delivered the eulogy at his father's funeral, and he captured so much of the wisdom and grace that people were really mourning with the loss of Pierre Elliott Trudeau. And it was, I think, public pressure that went, oh, there's another Pierre, and his name is Justin Trudeau. And at the time, I remember, I was young, but I remember thinking, oh, maybe that could be the next prime minister. So there is something about legacy that we like. But I want to ask you two, as moms of boys, you know, I was relieved when I found out I was having a girl. I was like, okay, I know what to do with a girl because that's me. I didn't know what to do because it continues today. There is a crisis in masculinity. What does it mean to be a boy and a man in 2025? I feel for you because I don't know what the answer is. Do you?
Do you guys know what the answer is?
Well, our boy is surrounded by a lot of female energy, so he is being shaped and, you know, kind of herded into this vessel that we'd like him to be. You know, he just has to, the core has to
He just
be
has to
good.
figure it out. He'll get there. He'll get there.
And if he doesn't,
We'll let you do that. You know what? I'm actually going to echo her sentiments, although I think when she made that comment, she was echoing to the fact that she had two very easygoing children, and people kept on asking her if she wanted to add a third, and she was like, let me not roll the dice and mess it up and get the third one. That's the one that's going to cause all of these issues. But I'm also glad for both of them that they don't have a son, because to your point, I think that boy would have been under so much pressure to be exactly like his father. And as we saw when they were in the White House, them as adults, they were under so much pressure to be perfect. In every single thing they did.
Malia smoking?
And it was a big deal. And you know what, I'm also, speaking of Malia, I love that we're watching their daughters grow up and kind of carve out their own path. And not too long ago, I don't know if you guys remember, Malia decided to change her last name because she really wants people to see her as her own person. So she calls herself Malia Ann. So I'm kind of glad for them, because when I think about Michael Jordan's son, when I think about David Beckham's son, when I think about LeBron James' son and all the scrutiny he's under, I'm like, could you imagine? Those are sports stars. Could you imagine what it would have been like for a Barack Jr.? Listen, I'm glad that kid's not here, so he can. We don't have to worry about that.
All right.
Tough one. Tough one.
We're going to move on to this. So in an interview with The New Yorker, Barbra Streisand reveals she can't remember if she slept with Warren Beatty or if they just slept in the same bed. So did they sleep together? Did they sleep together? Do we believe Barbra here? Or the other question is like, do you remember everyone you slept with?
That is, okay, listen, I'm gonna defend Babs, because there was a time where if I heard this, I'd be like, how can you forget people that you had sex with? That's ridiculous. Until it happened to me. I never thought I'd tell this story. Okay, so there I am anchoring the news, and I am interviewing this man. And as we were doing the interview, he's talking about what he came on to talk about. And the entire time I'm like, I know this guy. I know him. And I'm like, not junior high school, no, not high school, not this. And I'm going through all the places, and he's still talking, and I'm asking the questions, but I'm not listening to anything he's saying, because in my brain, I'm like, where do I know this guy? And just as I go to say thank you, because his name is in the teleprompter, it clicks and go, I dated that guy and had sex with him. And did not remember him until the very end. And then at the end of it, I was like, I gave him that eye like, oh, I see you. So I understand.
Was he that forgettable?
Well, that's the thing.
Wow.
First of all, it happened a long time ago. Perimenopause messes with the short-term, long-term memory a little bit.
Also,
nothing memorable.
Sorry, tell me you're a Scorpio without telling me you're a Scorpio.
Nothing memorable happened during that relationship. So I think my brain just kind of Control-Alt-deleted him. And was like, let's just forget. But I kept on going, I know him. It was so weird that I completely
That's a big thing to forget.
Who are you telling? I know. And so, Babs, I understand. Obviously, Warren did not do anything in that bedroom for you to remember him.
How about you?
Come on, this is a power move. This is so on brand for Barbra.
Is Barbra a Scorpio? She should be.
No, No, stop. I can't. I'm glitching out with that.
Now we're going to find out. Keep
She
talking.
is very Sigma. I love this for her. It's like, I'm the OG diva. You remember, and I'll just remain a mystery. I love it.
So good. It's so good.
I'm looking up if she's a Scorpio. Sorry.
Like, you're on your phone? What's going on here? I mean, it is possible. She's 80. What, 3, 4?
Yeah.
I know. She's,
That's not
her
wrong.
memory, isn't it?
Everybody you slept with?
I do.
I do. I was a person
First and last name?
I mean, there is this one person who I dated for a couple of months, and I just can't remember his last name.
Last name?
Just a last name. I cannot remember. And
Girl, you are way ahead of me.
Really? I feel a little bit bad about it.
Why?
I don't know. It just seems like a thing that you should remember. If you're going to be sharing bodily fluids, you should remember their name.
Yes. Okay, listen, I guess representing for the feminists out there, sometimes sex is just sex. And, you know, can I remember everybody?
Tell me about it.
But if I wasn't on TV, they wouldn't remember me either. So it's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
You want us to remember the 2 minutes that we spent with every guy that we met? Not possible. It's just not possible.
Ladies, ladies, ladies. 2 minutes. Wow. You are shortchanging yourself.
P.S. Babs is a Taurus, so Scorpios, you're off the hook, everybody. After the break, has celebrity nudity gone too far? Think about that. One columnist is saying that there are no more nipples left to free. We've seen them all. We'll discuss our take on this in 3 minutes. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Well, a writer for The Telegraph is arguing that the recent celebrity nudity trend on red carpets and album covers, it has gone too far in that it might be more shocking to start covering up again. So are we tired of the trend, or is celebrity nudity always going to be around and interesting, actually? What do we think?
Yeah, I'm a little bit bored of it. Like, I'll be honest. I think it's maybe because of the age that we're at. We've seen it all before. And like Madonna, I feel like, was a big trendsetter. Her sex book. We saw it all. So it seems a little bit uninteresting. And I think also it's what we're seeing, where we're seeing it pop up on celebrity red carpets. It's like the Bianca Sensoris and the Julia Fox. Basically anyone who's attached to Kanye West, it doesn't really feel like they're doing it themselves. It's more like his expression. So that doesn't feel very empowering. And I also think, like, until I start to see like men showing up to red carpets with their junk out and front and center, then I feel like there is inherently a lack of equity on that level. But maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Totally.
What do you think, Elvira?
No, this feels very female-focused. It's to your point, I think every generation wants to experience the outrage. Oh, that's so nude. But it's always female nudity. What I'm against, at least with celebrity nudity, it's announced. There's either a headline on the story, you know what's coming, or someone on television is saying, look at this scandalous thing. But out in public, I'm riding my bike here today, 2 guys just suddenly whip off their shirts. I'm like, oh, it's not consensual. I want to see that. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about, like, just random public nudity. I want less of that. And there are worse things than this much nudity. How about, like, some bare naked toes that should not be in sandals? You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've seen
The ones with all the hair on the knuckles?
Yeah, and then that claw toe that actually holds a flip-flop. That's holding onto your flip-flop.
You know what Jess Allen calls them? Jess Allen calls those cliffhangers. Cliffhangers.
I'm more opposed to that kind of nudity.
Okay.
Bring on, I want boobies all day. All day.
Yeah.
I'm glad my toes are in a full coverage shoot today. You know what? I'm going to say something. I don't even notice it. I really don't even notice it. And I'm going to blame it on this time that we were in. Back in 2007 to about 2009, there were 4 women, Lindsay Lohan, Tara Reid, Paris Hilton, and Britney Spears. These women were dominating the headlines, and every single night we watched them crawl out of very expensive cars without any underwear on. And we saw the nipple slips. It was a daily thing, and I was an entertainment reporter at the time. I could identify Britney Spears' labia in a police lineup. Easily. Totally, because it was such a regular occurrence. So now when I see celebrities trying to be kind of sheer and nude, I'm like, I don't, that's not it. I don't even notice it, but I'll say this much. The nudity that was appropriate or was accepted back then, nothing's changed almost 20 years later, because it's still the same size of woman that everybody's fine with seeing half naked and the same color of woman. Because remember, Janet Jackson years ago had that nip slip and it almost ended her career. Remember that?
Yeah, it's so true.
And nothing's changed. Let Beyonce on that tour let a nipple out. The world will come to an end.
Yeah.
The world would come to an end.
I agree. Like, I'll be honest. I'm just so, you know, on the one hand, of course, I get it. There are still beauty standards. It's if you're tall and you're thin and you're white, we're okay with the nudity. But I also think that that's changing thanks to people like Lizzo and Ashley Graham, even Rihanna. I think it is slowly changing. I'm so tired of this conversation because in the day and age of OnlyFans and Instagram, we've seen it all. So the fact that anybody is still so precious about somebody naked on a red carpet, I'm like, I'm actually really tired of people policing women's bodies. I'm really over it. I would much rather people come down just as hard on guys who don't even put in the effort and is offensive to me. And I'm looking at you, Adam Sandler, okay? So to me, I think if you're gonna police people in the way they look on red carpets, then at least look at men and either say, drop the pants or at least take a shower, okay? So just stop the talk about women, just
I mean,
stop.
we don't have time for this, but I don't know if it's that people are, I mean, yes, people do police women's bodies and that's a problem, but I don't know if it's that much. Like sometimes it's like, I still find the naked body attractive, so I don't know what to do with myself when I'm looking, like if I see a naked woman on a red carpet, I'm turned on. And so like
Do you think it's more of a time and place type
it's
of
a time
situation?
and a place, and I want to preserve, we are humans. We are designed to find the human body attractive. So I guess I don't want to lose a little bit of that. Anyway, it's for a later conversation because we are getting the get out of this.
Yes,
so sorry.
Look at that arm. It's about to come off of Kwame's body.
It's true. Elvira, we love having you here.
Oh, I love that.
Take it
She's
off.
getting naked?
Take it off.
Nude, Elvira? Oh my gosh.
Someone put their glasses on.
All right, up next, everybody, don't go anywhere because how to grill almost any type of protein, recipes and tips are ahead. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Summer has officially arrived, and that means it's time to fire up the grill. But as every backyard chef knows, not all proteins play by the same rules when it comes to the heat.
Yes, from the sizzling shrimp to the perfectly seared steak, it takes a little know-how to get it just right. And luckily, our next guest has all of the tips that you need. Here with the ultimate grill guide is Chef Devin Rajkumar. Nice to see you, Devin.
We have such a beautiful spread here today.
It looks
smells
incredible.
incredible.
It smells incredible. And we know that now more than ever, Canadians are really supporting Canadian products. And it really matters. So before we get into this, your grilling tips, let's talk about what we should be looking for to make sure we're buying Canadian protein.
Of course, very simple. Look for raised by a Canadian farmer.
Okay.
Look for trusted logos like Ontario Pork, Canada Beef.
Okay.
And you'll see these in the grocery store when you're browsing and looking for your steaks and your shrimp and the different items.
Yeah,
amazing.
good tips.
Very
All right,
simple.
so the first protein we're going to talk about is shrimp, which I'm looking at, and it looks incredible. Talk to us. How do we grill this and make sure we get all the good juices out of it?
It sure does look incredible, but please stop overcooking your shrimp, okay? Shrimp can be cooked in like 2 to 3 minutes.
How do we know we're overcooking the shrimp, though?
Well, when it kind of feels like, you know, a rubber ball.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So the way I cook it.
So just pull it. All these proteins, they continue to cook when they come off the heat source. So look for good color. We want medium-high heat. With most seafood, you want to do about medium heat.
Okay.
You know, if you're doing fish, put it skin side down. But we want to just cook it, get the color, and get it off.
And
it
this is
keeps
fast.
cooking.
It's super fast with shrimp, right?
Shrimp, it'll start to curl up. As soon as it seizes up a bit, pull
Get it off. Okay.
Okay.
You brought us tanduri shrimp on the Barbie, which sounds delicious. Like, break down how you make these.
I already ate it.
Do you use frozen?
Sorry, I didn't realize.
Yeah, so this is frozen shrimp. Shrimp has a really unique cell structure. It doesn't soak up water like a sponge, like other types of seafood. So run it under cold water, pat it dry. Everything here, anything you put on the grill, any heat source, if it's wet, if there's moisture, you're not gonna get color. Color is flavor. That's why it tastes so good, right? So make sure you get a really, really good sear, pat it dry.
So
we have a
good.
cornucopia of spices, cumin, coriander, Kashmiri red chili powder.
good stuff.
Yogurt marinade helps it penetrate, makes it tangy. It's good, huh?
So good. Oh my gosh.
And then blistered green chili, I like a lot of heat.
And
Me
were those
too.
frozen?
Yeah.
Were they frozen or did you do them fresh?
The chili?
The shrimps.
Oh, the shrimp were previously frozen, thawed under cold water,
Okay.
patted dry, marinated, grilled.
Okay, sorry, got it.
Okay,
Yep.
you know what? And you mentioned a little bit about cooking different types of seafood. So can you share tips for drill? Can I talk? Because I'm eating too much food. For grilling different types of seafood. There you go. Got it out.
Depending on whatever you're grilling, if it's very delicate and tender, just use a fish basket. Medium-high heat, not high. And when you put fish on the grill, please, most proteins, allow it to cook for 30 seconds to a minute. It's gonna release itself from the grill.
Love it.
Oil the fish, not the grill.
Okay.
Oil the fish. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're moving on to steak, the
Yes.
next protein. So specifically strip steaks, which we have here. So what should we know about grilling them?
Well, we have a strip loin here. Anytime you're cooking, a lot of these tips and tricks go across all proteins, but steak specific, get it out of the fridge for an hour. Someone called me last week, they're like, hey, my steak's been out of the fridge for an hour and a half. Can I still eat it? Yes, you can still eat it. Of
course you can.
Okay,
Let
but
it
we
rest.
want to temper it. Imagine you have a very dense piece of protein.
Yeah.
The heat source is going to take longer to penetrate to the middle. So that's why if we have a room temperature piece of steak, the heat's gonna penetrate faster. So 60 to 90 minutes, pull it out.
Gotcha.
And season it heavily. Anytime we put something on the grill, what happens? A lot of it falls into the grill. So
Okay.
season it heavily. We also can't season the inside. So these are all things to keep in mind.
I'm curious because in my family, there's a lot of seasoning the meat the night before. How do you feel about that?
You can, depending on what it is. If you're seasoning with acid, lemon juices, salt, you're going to play with the texture of the meat. So depending on if it's a very aggressive, acidic, salty marinade, maybe 2 to 4 hours.
Okay.
But overnight you can.
Okay, all right,
This
that's
one
good
is
to know.
amazing.
Yeah, so with this one as well, another big tip, stop slicing into the meat. I think a lot of you already know this. We have a lot of foodies in this crowd always,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So allow your protein to rest for about half the time you cooked it.
Okay.
So if this steak takes about 6-7 minutes, I'm
Yeah.
gonna let it rest for close to 5.
All right, now I've already eaten my piece because I'm a little ahead of myself and the food smells really good.
Yeah.
But you brought us some Caribbean jerk marinated strip steak. It was delicious. Talk to us about it.
So there's a lot of different ways that you could approach jerk seasoning. I mean, we have it in my cookbook. We have it a lot of different places. But if you start cooking the jerk too far in advance, it could burn and get aggressive. So about 80% into my cook, I start to brush it and baste it. Similar to how you'd finish chicken. I see one guy's like, yeah.
Okay.
So similar to how you would finish barbecue. Chicken on the barbecue, and you'd barbecue it, barbecue sauce towards the end.
Okay.
Same thing with this. Brush it for your last 2 bastes, your last 2 flips.
So good.
Gotcha.
Okay. Next up, you have a vegetarian protein. I've never thought to grill paneer.
I've never had paneer.
Oh my God, you haven't?
No,
So
you guys
amazing.
had it?
Okay.
So,
Me either.
So this is kind of standard. You know, growing up in a Guyanese household, growing up with so much Indian, South Asian influence, grilled paneer and paneer is just so popular. It's very fluffy. It takes on flavors really well. It's a non-melting cheese, but this is paneer tikka. So essentially this skewer would go into a tandoor, which is your super hot clay oven. But what we're doing here is we're putting it on the skewer. This skewer's got like 20 grams of protein. Okay, so if you're looking to get protein into your diet, skewer it up. Use whatever vegetables you have. You have poblano here. Was poblano ever put with paneer tikka? No, but I can do it. I can get away with stuff like this.
Because you're Devin, you can do that kind of stuff.
Use what you have. Use what's in the back of your grocery drawer.
It's so good. Some other popular veggie proteins are halloumi and tofu. Do we grill them the same way as paneer?
Halloumi, very similar, from Cyprus, little squeaky, fantastic. Tofu, make sure it's firm. If it's medium, it's just gonna go blah.
And if you don't have a tandoori oven, just quickly, we can still manage this, right?
You can pan sear this. You can put a cast iron on your grill. You can grill it.
Great.
You can blow torch it. You can broil it.
All
whatever,
right.
whatever you want.
Above.
All right, so we're ending things with the chicken thigh.
Yes.
Why is this protein so good for the grill?
It's a powerhouse in protein. And today we have like protein for every single palate. Chicken thighs, bone in. I don't know why people are so obsessed with boneless meat. Like boneless chicken
That's
curry
the only thing I buy is the boneless.
It drives me crazy.
Okay, why should we get the one with the bone
There's
in?
so much more flavor. As this is roasting, that bone is imparting so much juice and flavor into the chicken. It's gonna be juicier and more flavorful. Chicken thigh is always gonna be better bone in. I always prefer dark meat. We've already addressed that, okay? But you can...
Me too, my friend, me too. I feel you.
You could go with you could go with chicken breast if you want. It's awesome. It's fantastic. But even then, I would have the bone on it too.
Okay.
I love bone.
This is a Korean barbecue chicken with cucumber kimchi slaw. Tell us about this recipe.
So I lived with a Korean back when I was 15, 16 years old. I was just in Korea a few months ago. We have gochujang, so this is a fermented red chili paste. We have sesame oil, rice wine vinegar. You marinate the chicken overnight. It's an aggressive marinade, but chicken thigh can take it. And then you just cook it on the barbecue. Cooking chicken on the barbecue, have two different zones. Have a hot zone and a lower zone. You can get your color on one side, then move it, and then treat the barbecue like an oven to cook it through.
Good. It is so good. Every single recipe you knocked it out of the park. Amazing.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
So good.
Chef Devin, Raj Kumar, thank you so much for stopping by. Everything was incredible.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
for
much.
my first taste of paneer. And if you make a mess eating barbecue, no sweat. We've got you laundry hacks after the break. Stay with us.
Oh my God.
That was delicious.
Welcome back. It's officially summer. I'm so happy to say that. Yeah, so happy. And for a lot of people, that means travel, near or far. But what do you do when you're out enjoying yourself and then, oops, something spills on your clothes?
Well, our next guest is here to show us travel laundry hacks that just might save the day. So please welcome back to the show garment care expert and vice president of Gibson's Cleaners, Lindley McConnell.
Lindley.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna sound like a nerd, but I love talking about laundry, so I'm very excited that you're here. So let's start off with something I think we all have experienced. You put on a really cute outfit, you go to the restaurant, and as soon as you eat that shrimp or whatever, it drops on your clothes and you have a oopsie daisy. What can you do? Because you can't go back to the hotel and change your clothes, so how can we get rid of that stain?
Totally. So the #1 rule of stain removal is always to act fast. So even if you can't, get 100% of the stain out, at least you have some access to some items that, are gonna save the day. So what I like is distilled white vinegar. That's gonna be great on food stains like coffee or red wine stains. The acidity actually neutralizes the pigments in the coffee and wine.
Did not know that.
Dish soap is great for oil, grease, or makeup stains. And then I love baby wipes just for deodorant or those white chalky marks, especially on your synthetic fabrics like athletic wear.
Yeah, because you can carry those around in your purse, have the little wipes. That's great. Okay, so the next thing we're talking about is the grease stain.
Yeah,
how do we get rid of this
Greece is a popular travel destination, not a hot spot on your shirt. So we're we're gonna use some dish soap, like I mentioned, for the grease and oil stains. Now, on the go, grab some dish soap. I'm actually just gonna massage it in with my finger. That's gonna start to emulsify. It's gonna start to lift the stain out of the fabric.
And this is for when you get back to the hotel room. You should do this immediately, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're also, ask your server for some dish soap, you never know.
What about the soap, the hand soap in the bathroom?
Will that work?
Yeah, that's a little less, yes, it would work.
It would work,
Okay, and then we're gonna take our napkin here, and then we are going to start blotting with water. So we don't
That's water, not vinegar.
Correct,
That's
yeah,
water.
that's water.
Okay.
So for this one, we're just doing dish soap and water. Yes, great question.
So rub in the soap and then blot the water.
You got it. And then we let that air dry. Hopefully it's removed after that. If not, you can repeat or do a full wash cycle.
Okay. Well, another common stain that happens to me all the time, I'm sure you guys will identify, the deodorant stain.
100%.
Yeah.
You're changing all the time.
Yeah, how do we get rid of it?
Yeah, so I love baby wipes for this one. Really, I'm gonna pull a second wipe just so it's more moist. And then we are just going to go in and right away, we're seeing that get removed.
Done and done, ladies. No more deodorant marks all over your clothes. This is brilliant.
No, super easy and also feeling refreshed afterwards. You smell nice.
Okay, that's so great. Double duty.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you've covered this, but let's say I've cleaned the stain. It might be good for now, but it's not fully clear. Okay, so is it still possible to wash the stain out after it's fully dried?
Yes, so we always want to let something air dry before we try again. We want to avoid heat, so no hair dryer in the hotel room or no dryer.
Oh, really?
Heat is going to set the stain further into the fabric.
Okay, so avoid the heat. Okay, good to know. Let's move on to a full wash in scenarios where spot cleaning might not be enough. And you don't necessarily, of course, have the room necessarily to pack a whole laundry detergent. What's the solve?
Absolutely. So we're going to use either our sink in the hotel or our bathtub. There are these great silicone stoppers. You can buy them online. You just clog your drain. And then we're actually going to use these really easy, we got them a little wet here, but they're laundry strips. So they're actually concentrated laundry detergent in A strip, they're great. They're eco-friendly. We can ditch the TSA or the customs requirements for liquids.
Love that.
All you need is a little bit. You're gonna put it into your sink or bathtub.
Oh, so you're only
Give it
using a
swirl.
piece of it.
I would follow the
use those, and
instructions.
I put like half of a whole strip in.
I think it is half for a load.
For a full
of
load.
laundry.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
you got
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Give
So
it a
just for a little
swirl.
bit.
And then with our oil-stained item, that's when we would give it a wash.
Okay.
Okay, so just put it in there.
So that just dissolves
Yes.
in the water. No other tools are really necessary except for your hand and your energy.
Yeah,
and it's gone.
Yeah, and it's gone. And one strip can last you for an entire like 7-day vacation.
Yeah, I would take 1 or 2, super easy. Then once you follow the instructions, let it sit for the allotted time.
Yeah.
You're going to squeeze it out and then either rinse underneath the sink or put into clean water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Okay.
is so great. Okay, what's the first step for this full wash? I don't know what that refers to.
I think that was the first step.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
the first step?
let it soak, and then we let it like 10 to 15 minutes, then we're gonna transfer it or rinse it out.
Got
then
it.
squeeze to dry. You never wanna wring anything out. Lay flat to dry.
Got it.
Lay
Okay.
flat to dry.
yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
All right, so it's laid flat to dry. It air dries after the wash. Now you want to take a look at it, but you've squished it all. It's wrinkly.
And you gotta go out.
We
Yeah,
gotta
so
go
we talked
out.
pre-spotting, we've talked wash, now we're talking drying.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a like in a pinch trick with rather than an iron using your straightener.
The flat
Yes,
iron.
thank you
Also
so
near
much.
some water, so let's be careful with
Thank
that.
you so much for the
Okay,
health and
okay.
safety for sure. Definitely pre-wipe off your straightener before you use it, just so you don't want hair product transferring to,
Good call.
Okay.
to the
Good
item.
call,
And then
okay.
this is great for linens or cottons. No silks, no specialty fabrics. I don't want
What
anyone...
about synthetics?
Synthetics, I would definitely do a test area and start on low heat. We don't want any melting happening. Yeah, not great. And then it's really great for touching up collars, or you can touch up like the end of your blouse. So also I have some pockets here. If you ever have like those wrinkled pockets, you can go in, just touch them up.
Always
Okay,
those
good.
pockets.
Yeah,
good
they're like kind
idea.
of flying up.
Okay.
Mini steamers, are you okay with those too? If you want to just throw one of those in your...
I think it's great. I mean, I think you watch with the electrical conversion. You know, something
that's
like,
always that.
Yeah. It's always kind of a
Well, this
hassle.
is a great hack. Okay, so we've got the laundry down, but you've also got some great packing hacks for us.
Absolutely. So let's start with the shower cap. So I really hate packing shoes. I don't like getting a nice shoe bag dirty. Why not just use a shower cap over top of your shoes instead? So you can slide that in there, pack them upright, and then you're good to go. They're covered.
Yes.
And you're also getting to a hotel who likely has shower caps too.
Yeah,
So you
That's
have like an
great.
endless supply. I also love using these like prescription cases for jewelry. Just like on the go.
Oh, like these pill cases.
Pill cases,
great
yes.
idea.
I mean, if you're super organized packer, you can also, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, plan your outfits day and night.
I will never be that organized, but I aspire to that kind of level of
One day.
organization.
One day.
Okay.
I'm with you here. Dryer sheets, I like putting one that I like the scent of in a pocket in the suitcase, or you can spray your like perfume on like a paper towel, put it in a pocket so your things are smelling fresh for your trip. And then the last one I have is just your shoe bags. This is when I do like to use a shoe bag, just for your dirty items or for small delicates like your underwear. Transfer it clean into dirty, and then that way when you get home, you can just throw that in the washer.
Easy and toss it in.
Yeah.
I love
Good
that.
Yeah.
Lindley, great tips. Thank you so much. Yes. All right, everybody, let's take a break. We'll be back right after this. You know we love fashion on this show, and tomorrow on The Social, stylist Erica Work is back. She's going to try to convince you, if you never have, to try zebra prints and other fun patterns this summer. I feel like this audience, you're already, you know what you're doing. Look at you, you already know. Listen, also tomorrow's show, Maclean's editor-in-chief Sarah Fulford is here to tell us what they found out in their deep dive into Canadian nationalism. Even just saying that word, why do I have a funny thing just saying that word?
Well, it's an interesting time period,
Interesting
right?
times.
It's complicated.
Yes,
A lot of bumper
yes.
stickers, lots of flags.
Yes, exactly.
Lots of protests.
And hopefully we have reclaimed the flag.
Hopefully.
Is what I'm hoping.
We'll find
Listen,
out
do y'all
tomorrow.
have fun? You are fabulous. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate each and every one of you. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye-bye.